coaches have not really taken care of because
like
because they can't deal with it
yeah, they are found. To me, they
are using dark arts.
No, they are not. Arsenal are not using. These are not dark arts. Even if it's dark arts are normal in football. You can't do anything about it.
But I don't know why coaches are not really.
No, which one is the dark art? Because Charlie, what they're going on, I hope everything be okay at your side. Charlie, Brennan, so Musa. Welcome to Ohinba Sports. My name is James Ohinba Makio, and this will be bringing you up to date in everything that's happening in the world of sports, from football to tennis to basketball. Charlie, be taskily cry bro, what you say, huh? So today we'll be doing the UEFA Champions League preview games match day. To remember, this is a new era, an exciting one, of course. We'll be discussing the new format and whether it's a good format compared to the old one, and whether this particular format will have a 200 players, because obviously they are going to play more games. And then we'll do a preview of the games coming up in match day 2. Arsenal in contention, Barcelona in contention, Juventus, AC Milan, Leverkusen, all the big games will be doing the preview for you. But before you go into the discussion, remember this on Hinba Sports. Subscribe to this channel, like, share, comment to your friends, so say them to them, go know what they happen for the world inside. You know what I'm talking about. Before you go, we will delve deep into the discussion. We go for a breather. When we come back, I introduce my guest. One funny guy. Just say, oh dear, my man come bra. So you're still watching on Hinba Sports, and on this episode, as I said in the intro, we'll be discussing the UEFA Champions League Match Day 2 preview. We'll be doing some big games and that particular one. But before we go deep into the discussions for the games, remember the UEFA Champions League, the format has changed from the group stage phase to the league phase. Now the games are being played in a league format where each team will play 8 games. Um, but then remember, they are not playing against each other like all the teams. They'll just play 8 games, and at the end of the 8 games, the top 8 automatically qualifies to the round of 16. Then the rest of the teams will play a knockout sort of game among themselves. Then the 8 that will qualify will also join the 8 automatically qualify. So this means that more games in the UEFA Champions League, and we are going to have more teams in the UEFA Champions League. I have here with me Bisky, the analyst. That's what he prefers that we call him. Just say, Babi, analyze BBA football, enjoy BBA or hobby. So he will help us discuss it. So Bisky, let me welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me ask you about the format, the new format of the Champions League. We've had a lot of people talking about the fact that this new format is not good, especially for the players. There are other people that also says that no, we are going to see more exciting games, more big games in the group stages than to wait till maybe the semi-finals or even the quarterfinals or the finals. Between these two opinions, where do you stand?
I don't stand anywhere. I just sit down. Okay, so the new format actually it has, I think, 3 people or 3 different breeds have different opinions. Okay, so the authorities that the UEFA and the players, UEFA had their stand. The players that they are the acting players, they have their stand, and the fans also have their stand. The UEFA as an institution or as a group, I should say, they are more focused on the money that they make. Okay,
Definitely.
You all saw how the Super League came about and how angry or how angry UEFA became when the whole Super League.
So you are trying to say that this new format is as a UEFA we are Super League.
Oh, of course, we are the more we are, because that's how the Super League was about.
Okay.
Or that's what it was about. When Florentino Perez and the other president came about with the Super League, it was about in a league format.
With more teams,
with more money, big games.
Yeah.
So we ever sat down and like, Charlie, we are so we sat down and they were like, okay, we can do something about it. We will get more money, we get more sponsors, we get more big games. Because according to UEFA president, the complaint was when the old UEFA Champions format, the group stage, there was not much big games to watch. It was always big team versus small team. big team versus small team. Unlike the new format that you have, we
Yeah.
are the second day.
Yeah,
We
even
already
second day,
we
already
already have PSG versus
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
We have Bayo for Leverkusen versus AC
AC
Milan.
Milan.
So big games to play. Unlike first. So the UEFA side was like, Charlie, let's play something. There's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here comes the acting members, that the
Yeah,
players.
the protagonists. Yeah.
Rodri has come out to say, Charlie, one way you better strike. Because Manchester Dawson, just a couple of days, we saw us now, Julian Timber, also coming out backing what Rodri said. We have seen other players coming out to say, Charlie, the matches are too much. We don't have enough rest. We are playing almost every 3 days. We can't even go on vacation because
some even don't have time with their family.
Because you are playing the league.
Let's say, for example, you play on Sunday, then you play
Tuesday,
Champions League on Wednesday,
Tuesday,
or let's say Tuesday.
Those who are playing Conference League 2 or in Europa are playing on Thursdays and Fridays or whatever. On Saturday and Sunday, you are playing the league. After the league, remember you also have FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and other cups to play.
And in between, you have the
international games. After international games, you have the Club World Cup to go and play.
Okay. So
after everything, when the season is over, instead of you to go on vacation, you have to go for preseason.
Okay.
So you don't have enough rest for the body, and players are getting injury day in and day out. Star players are getting injured because there's no update. Yeah. Even if you are not playing, you are going for training.
Yeah, obviously you have to go for training.
So it's been a hectic for the players. But some people are of the opinion that, hey, you are taking over £100,000 a week just to play football. What's the one break?
It's not just to play.
No, that's what some people are arguing
about. But the injury involves sometimes they are life threatening.
Obi say obey you more than when you win £100,000 a week. Only £100,000 in a week, I won't complain.
On this one, so that's it for you. Yes, I think I agree with you. For UEFA, it's an avenue to make more money for themselves. It's an avenue to have more supporters at the stadium. It's an avenue to have more big matches, the big teams playing among themselves, not waiting till the round of 16, the quarterfinals or the finals to have big games already. Yes, but for the players who are the main actors of the game, you can't only fault UEFA for it. It's from FIFA and UEFA and other bodies who are making sure that we play football. The players are complaining a lot about. So you can send your comments in the comments section. What do you think about this particular one? So let's delve deep into the game. So I'd like basically to just open the fixtures that we have in match day 2 of the new format of the UEFA Champions League. You have some mouth-watering fixtures in this particular one. Your favorite team is playing. Arsenal is in there, PSG is in there, Barcelona is in there, Real Madrid is in there, AC Milan by Leverkusen. So let me take through the fixtures for this particular match day 2 of the UEFA Champions League. Then after that, we come to discuss some of the big games and give our predictions. So Salzburg is playing against Brest. Stuttgart is playing against Sparta Praha. Arsenal will play against Paris Saint-Germain. Dortmund at the Signal Iduna Park will play against Celtic. Barcelona will play against Young Boys. Inter Milan will play against Crvena Zvezda. Bayer for Leverkusen will play against AC Milan. PSV will play against Sporting Lisbon. Bratislava will welcome Manchester City. Girona at home will play against Feyenoord. Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine welcome Atlanta. Aston Villa will play against Bayern Munich. Benfica will play against Atletico Madrid. Dynamo Zagreb will play against Monaco. Leipzig will play against Juventus. Lille against Real Madrid. And Liverpool at Anfield will welcome Bologna. Then Stamgrass will play against Club Brugge. So let's start off from the big game, and it is Arsenal versus Paris Saint-Germain. Basically, let me ask you, this is a big game. Already, you are seeing big games in the league phase. Yes. Arsenal started the league so well, but in the Champions League in match day 1, they drew with Atlanta, whilst PSG also won their game by just a goal in the dying embers of the game. Let's look at the forms of these two particular teams, especially in the league. Arsenal are third on the league log, while PSG have won all their games in the French league. Who are you tipping to win this particular game?
So this game will be an interesting game to watch. PSG is coming to England again. Their history with English teams, especially when it comes to England, is is not good.
Yeah.
Newcastle, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal themselves.
Yeah.
But I want to see a new PSG without a Kylian Mbappe. How they are going to deal
with the mention of Kylian Mbappe, the last player to score for PSG in the UEFA Champions League is Kylian Mbappe. Yes. They've not scored since that time, and even in that match they won game, it was an own goal that they had to secure all the 3 points. So since Kylian Mbappe scored somewhere in April this year in the Champions League, no PSG player scored.
Yeah, well, PSG and Champions League, I don't want to say they are twins of enemies because they've tried everything possible that they can. Even with the era of Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, they still couldn't win it. They bought all the players they can, still nothing to show off. They are not elite when it comes to Champions League. They don't have the Champions heritage. Likewise, Arsenal, they've gone to final once, 2006. They didn't win when Barcelona beat them. They've struggled since. They've struggled since then to be a force to reckon with when it comes to Champions League. They either from the group stage or quarterfinals being a young few. They can't really make a mark. Yeah. But it's a new Arsenal team. A new Arsenal team with Mikel Arteta leading them. Last season they went out in the quarterfinals when Sporting Lisbon beat them. This season they want to make a mark. Yeah. Because they have both the Champions League and the league to fight for. Yeah, exactly. PSG is coming to Emirates without one of their most important players, Ousmane Dembele, because of disciplinary issue. Arsenal will be without Martin Odegaard, their captain, their creative force. We see how Mikel Arteta is going to tweak his players and deploy his tactics and everything. Whether Kai Havertz will play as an attacking midfielder or as a creative midfielder like he did against Atlanta. We saw the game against Atlanta and how they struggled in between the games because at the point they had to defend. Atlanta really came at them, but you can't fault them because they went away to Bergamo. Playing Atlanta at Bergamo is not an easy task because Atlanta for now has been a really good team. PSG is also coming with their force. They don't have good record in England. They are coming to make a mark with Luis Enrique leading the boys. How are they going to cope with this Arsenal defense of Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba, Julian Timber, and Calafiori? Yeah. And informed David Raya. Yeah. For PSG, I think one thing they should really be aware of is Arsenal set pieces. They are very deadly, especially when it comes to corner kicks. Yeah. It's like penalty to them now. When they get a ball, I don't know if coaches have not really taken care of because like is it because they can't deal with it or they are using dark acts.
No, they are not. Arsenal are not using. These are not dark acts. Even if it's dark acts are normal. Yes, football. You can't do anything about it.
But I don't know why coaches.
No, which one is the dark art? Because if you are coming to play a corner kick, and I tell my players to go to the last post.
Going to the last post is not the issue. So why are you blocking goalkeepers from coming out?
Goalkeepers, we are all struggling. We are struggling. We are also struggling to prevent them.
I remember Arsenal versus Man City when they finished and Haaland had like bruises or marks all over his body because Gabriel Magalhaes no the thing is I know this game will eventually be win or draw for Arsenal.
Okay, especially at home.
Especially at home. I don't expect Arsenal to lose after drawing against Atlanta. That will be very difficult to come back.
And especially with the fact that Arsenal themselves have not lost to PSG in the UEFA Champions League. They've played four games. Yes. 1-3 and one has been in draw. And PSG themselves struggle against English side, especially when the English side are playing us. So we can mention Manchester City beating them on 2 occasions. And then Newcastle United also beating them last season about 4 goals to 1 or 4 goals to 2 at the St. James's Park. So it's going to be
an interesting game. PSG already has 3 points. Arsenal has 1. The only thing Arsenal has to do is to avoid defeats. Any defeat to Arsenal will really hurt the team.
Alright, so any defeat to Arsenal will really hurt the team. So let's move on to another big game. It is Bayer Leverkusen versus AC Milan at the Bay Arena today. Xabi Alonso, who went unbeaten last season in the German Bundesliga, will play against Paulo Fonseca's AC Milan, who have not started the Serie A season so well, but in their last 3 games, they've proven that they are a force to reckon with. With Leverkusen, yes, they are also struggling in the Bundesliga. Last weekend, they drew it by a minute. But let me ask Bismarck who he thinks will win this particular game.
I think with Bayern Leverkusen playing at home, they have the advantage, especially with the form that they are in now from last season. I think this season they've lost only one match at in the Bundesliga. That I think their first game or second game they lost. And you see how Bayern Munich plays. They've really been in good form. And for Bayern Leverkusen to really go out there, pick a draw, it shows how resilient the team is. Xabi Alonso has set his team in a way that it's difficult for you to. No, it's not difficult for you to score, but it's difficult for you to pick win against them. You will score because they concede.
Yeah.
Bayern Leverkusen concede, but they also score.
Yeah.
That's the issue. You will score them, they also score. So the issue is, are you going to outscore them? That's the only thing you can win. If you go out there, try to get a goal or two, it will be difficult for you to pick a win against Bayern Leverkusen because they score more goals. Victor Boniface has picked form. He's in a good form. Florian Wirtz is playing fantastic. You have Alex Gromado also back in form. Jeremy Frimpong back in form. We have Ganesh Xhaka controlling the midfield with Andrich. You have Etapsova and Jonathan Tah at the heart of defense.
But you mentioned all these players. Do you think that they are capable of caging the likes of Rafael Leao, Theo Hernandez, who are searching for it at the left wing, the likes of Samuel Chukwueze, Christian Pulisic also being in form? Do you think they can cage them?
Yeah, AC Milan has been in form in the last 3 games, I should say. They didn't start the season well. Paulo Fonseca has one way or the other find a way to convince his players that Charlie, we are good enough to play. He had issues with Theo Hernandez and Rafael Leao. Now the issue has been solved, I think so, because that's why they are playing so good. Rafael Leao is in good form. Yesterday he was talking about being the captain of AC Milan and the responsibility that comes with it. So now it is his responsibility to lead this team to win against Bayer Leverkusen. Rafael Leao is very tricky, very pissy, just a bit wasteful, as I've always said. Yeah, but Christian Pulisic is the deadly guy among them. Any chance given to him, he will score. Bayer Leverkusen play with a 3-back with full backs, so it becomes like a 5-back when they are defending. But Jeremy Frimpong and Alex Gromado hardly defend. So if AC Milan has anything to do, they should just get in behind Jeremy Frimpong and Alex Gromado.
So who's winning this game?
It's win or I think Leverkusen will pick at least a draw. But if any win will come, it will be Leverkusen.
Okay, so let's talk about one other team. That is Barcelona. They are playing against Young Boys. Remember, in their first game in the Champions League, they lost to AS Monaco in not an exciting way, with Eric Garcia receiving a card, Ter Stegen also doing some mistake in there. They lost to AS Monaco. Interesting. And then during the weekend, they've also lost to Osasuna. Will they be able to pick up against Young Boys?
Yes. I think if Barcelona did not win or do not win this game, it will be very, very disgraceful and very. I don't know how to embarrassing.
Hansi Flick started the season well.
Yes,
winning most of the games in the Serie A. What has changed?
I think with the La Liga, the match that he lost against Osasuna is because of the rotation that he did. If you look at the squad that he played with, it was almost like the second team that he played with. But that was because he thinks he doesn't have enough players because most of the players are injured. And if you continue to play these players or these boys, injuries may set in. So he needs to do rotation. And unfortunately, rotation now far. And a quarter fast. So against Young
Boys at Camp Nou at home,
it should be
a done deal.
It should be an easy win because there's a Young Boys team that Aston Villa went to their home to beat them 3-0.
Yeah, that's true.
You have your players back. You have Lamine Yamal, you have Rafinha, you have Robert Lewandowski. They should be players who should be able to. The only problem with this Barcelona team is their midfield. Eric Garcia had a red card in the first game against Monaco. You have Bernard who
is injured.
So definitely Marc Casedo just comes in. But even with Marc Casedo, he has been playing fantastic since he slotted in. So I don't think Barcelona should have If Barcelona even win this game less than 2 goals, I'll be very, very disappointed. Like seriously.
And the Barca for Hans Flick. Let's talk about one last game, but an interesting one, of course. Aston Villa vs FC Bayern Munich. Unai Emery has changed the fortunes of Aston Villa. He's made them another force in England, and especially in the Champions League, which we've already seen what they've been able to do. Compared to FC Bayern Munich, we all know that they've been good, especially in the Champions League. They don't usually lose game in the group stages. They are they have a head coach in the person of Vincent Kompany. How do you see this game at the Villa Park?
So it's a game of an experienced manager versus an inexperienced manager,
and also a game of an
experienced team versus an inexperienced team. Okay. So it's two sides.
Okay.
Unai Emery is a very experienced manager. Everybody knows what he has done in Europe. Very, very good. Vincent Kompany is a bit inexperienced. He doesn't even have Champions League experience. Here comes a manager who is very inexperienced, but has been able to find a way to let his team play very good.
Don't you think it's because of the players?
Thomas Tuchel had these players. We saw what happened. Thomas Tuchel had the same players. You talk about only maybe Michael Olise, who has been slotted in, and Paulina. Even Paulina is not a starter now because Pavlovic obviously started ahead of him. So this is the same team that struggled last season.
So in essence, Kompany is a good coach than
No. You can't say Kompany is a good coach or a better coach than Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel has done it.
But it was the same materials.
Yes, the fact that Thomas Tuchel failed at Bayern Munich doesn't mean he's a bad coach. Okay. Isn't not the same Vincent Kompany who led Burnley to relegation? So will you also say like,
but it's about the material.
It's about the material that he has. We all saw glimpse of how he can play with Burnley, but it was just that the materials were not that good enough to play like that. But now he has the material that he has. If you have Manuel Neuer, if you have Upamecano and Kim Min-jae, Alphonso Davies and Co, Kimmich, Musiala, and Co. Yeah, you have the material. These are big players who have done it on a big stage. Harry Kane is very experienced. He has won golden boots here and there. Musiala is one exciting youngster. You have Michael Olise, a prospect who is showing glimpses that he can play. His few matches for Bayern Munich, he has shown that yes, he is a very good player. Aston Villa has a team. They may not necessarily have the materials that Bayern Munich, but they have to compact team. Unai Emery has made the teams, deploy the teams so much that they play together, they defend together, they attack together. Oli Watkins, John Duran will come from the bench. You have Ramsey, you have Bailey, you have Onana. Like they have Amadou Onana.
It's a decent team.
Decent team. Not that exploits like the Bayern Munich team, but trust me, they are going to compete.
Aston Villa are going to compete. They are going to compete. Champions League.
No, they are going to compete
against Bayern Munich.
Okay. They are not going to go out there and say, "Oh, yes, we will be keke." No.
So Bayern will struggle against.
Bayern will struggle. It's not going to be like against their last game that they won 9. No, it's not going to be like that game. When that team 9-2, it will even be difficult to score 3-0 against Bayern. One thing will happen. Bayern Munich will score. Aston Villa is likely to score. Bayern Munich should be wary of John Duran from the bench.
Okay.
They should be wary of John Duran from the bench. That guy comes from the bench and he's like a super sub.
I thought Chelsea were chasing him. They didn't want him anymore.
Chelsea were chasing him. They just Aston Villa. No person. You know, teams went for the guy. Teams went for the guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just that no one person and now Chelsea. So I don't know whether someone or married John and no more. Someone married John no more. It's going to be interesting game. Both teams to score. Expect over 1.5, but I'm going to give Bayern Munich a win or draw.
A win or draw for Bayern Munich. So on point analysis from Bismarck and Ponsa Biscuit the analyst or Sisani and Fredo. So this is where we draw the curtains down on the UEFA Champions League preview. So we've done the big games for you. This is on Hinba Sports. Continue to watch this channel, subscribe, like, and share to your friends. Also, put in your comments what do you think about what you discussed. Charlie, we will talk more and we'll come back to you.